Hello everyone, my name is Jason and we're back on We Talk Real Talk today, and I'm your host Jason, and the other hosts you're used to seeing, Ibuku and Wonu, are unavoidably absent today. So today's conversation is a little bit tender, it's a tender one. We're going to be talking about something that many families go through but still isn't talked about enough. The support on children after divorce. Sorry. While divorce is a separation between two adults, the major impact is really on the kids. So to understand this better, we're here with Counselor
Inaholo
Emmanuel, and he's going to give us a better insight on the whole topic. So in our second episode, we gave out a survey link to the theme of coping with divorce, and this was our answer. This was this message we got. I don't feel anything anymore, and that's the scary part. Everyone talks about divorce like it's a normal thing, but nobody tells you about this part where everything just goes quiet. It's like the house is the same, people are no longer the same, something is missing, and you can't even react to it anymore because it is considered insensitive. I keep asking myself, how do I heal? Or should I just shut down? I think maybe this is what happens when the pain gets too loud and ignored. Your mind just turns the volume off. So, based on this response and others, we have gathered major questions surrounding it, and we're gonna ask our counselor here today. So question one, sir, I wanted to ask, when parents separate, what's the first thing that usually happens emotionally for a child?
Okay. Again, my name is Inaholo Emmanuel.
Yes.
I'm a child and adolescent psychologist.
Happy to have you today.
Thank you. So one of the first things that happens with young people when parents are getting divorces, most of them begin to want to infuse themselves into the scenario. They begin to wrap their head around what could be the cause.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they internalize this, the cause. When I say internalize, what I mean is they mostly feel they are the cause, especially when they've seen parents argue about them, argue about school fees, argue about things about them. So they begin to wonder, is mommy separating from daddy because of me? Is daddy separating from mommy because of me? Is the issue surrounding me? So there's a lot of confusion and anxiety going on in the air. That's actually one of the first emotional red flag that comes in for children.
So it's like an emotional dump on the child.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because most times there's no conversation head around these things, so most of the time these thoughts around their head, these thoughts are internalized at the end of the day.
Yeah, no conversation is had with them. Okay, yeah. So the second question is, what are some of the biggest mistakes that parents make during this period? This period of when the child is involved and going through this sequence of thoughts and feelings.
Some of the mistakes they make is making the child a pawn.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the father wants to do things using the child to get back at the mom. The mother wants to do things using the child to get back at the father. And this further reinforces the idea initially that the child feels he's the cause of, he's the problem, basically. And this is something we really struggle with in Africa, because in developed world, in the West, I know of countries who they mandate parents to actually take the children to compulsory therapy, where things like this will be explained to them from the onset, basically. So one of the things that could be one of the most grievous mistakes is making the child a pawn in the
And it's
relationship.
so normalized too that it's not spoken about. The child can't even express what they're going through because they don't know, and they just drown in those feelings. So yes, I understand that. How can parents create a sense of stability when everything feels like it's changing? Like in terms of how can they show the child that everything is still fine, even though, me and mommy or the other way around is not computing.
So one thing I feel we believe from studies that is lacking here, first of all, is to balance emotions. So because divorce is something that could be likened to grief. I think most people, when they say grief, you liken it to you've just lost somebody through death.
Yes.
But divorce could also be losing somebody that used to be very important in your life. You guys used to do things together.
Sort of a loss.
Thank you is a loss, basically. So research has shown that people who go through divorce, both the person who initiates the divorce, go through the same feeling that somebody who has lost someone to death go through, basically. So most times what parents struggle with is how to balance those emotions they feel within, and how to also look at the kids and also balance what they're going through. So most of the time, what the kids need to know is that I am a father to you, but I'm a husband to your mom. Your mom is a mother to you, or a wife to me. We might have failed as partners, but that doesn't change that I am your father, she's your mom. So that's the right step to helping them normalize the entire situation. So they see you as a mother rather than a wife to their father. They see you as a mother. They see you as a father rather than a husband to their mother. So basically, that has to be spelled out. Basically, I might be an horrible husband, but I am a great father, basically. So that has to be understood from the beginning.
Yes, I agree too. Some children become quiet, obviously, and while others act out. How should parents respond to these different reactions? Let's start with like children that are quiet, that their reaction to everything is just to bottle everything up inside. How do we tackle that?
Yeah. So children would take that as an option when obviously personality comes into play, and also when they do not feel the environment is safe enough to express. We've seen situations where people who are considered to be introverts see a safe space and they express themselves to the fullest. So, but when your child begins to find the space unsafe for them to be expressive, they kind of bottle up things. So I think what the parents need to do at that point in time is not to even really push things, but just keep reassuring them that they could be safe with them. They could express their feelings are safe, basically. And I think that's what young people struggle with these days. Always feeling misunderstood, because there's no guarantee that anything that comes out from your mouth wouldn't be misunderstood by the parents. So I think young people struggle with that a lot.
Not heard enough and everything, and it's bad because as keep bottling and keeping everything inside, it's like, keep putting air in a bottle to still pop. At the end of the day, so it's always negative in that route. Yeah. So I agree with that. And for children that act out,
children that act out is mainly because there's what we call the distraction techniques, basically. So children usually feel the need to also get a little bit of attention. So mommy and daddy are always at it from the beginning, especially when the struggle has started for a long time before it led to divorce. So they're always out of the picture while parents are always at it, and they want to at least have a little bit of attention. So that's like a call for attention. So I think the parents should be more attentive at that time and probably start talking more to the child. That is basically the child's own language of telling you, talk to me, basically.
Like a cry kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So what about co-parenting? How important is it for parents to be aligned when it comes to the kids, regardless of whatever disputes they might have with each other?
Yeah, parents should see the bigger picture, actually, because what parents do these days is try as much as possible to make the child hate the other parent, basically.
Yeah.
But co-parenting is very important because we should understand that every child needs both parents to actually live a sane life at the end of the day. So we should understand that things would eventually change. At some point, daddy starts having other spouse, basically. Mommy start having other spouse, probably might lead to something serious. So all this someone needs to explain this to the child at the end of the day. So co-parenting helps the parents actually pay more attention and know when to actually explain these details at the end of the day. So co-parenting is very important for the child's development. So parents need to understand that as much as possible, they need to put the children first.
Yes, this is true. How important before we wrap up, there's one thing that every parent that's going through a divorce should keep in their mind. What would you think that is? If it's one thing the parent that is having these disputes with their fellow spouse and partner, and it's like the end of the road, what's one thing that they should keep in mind?
From the beginning till whenever the divorce is finalized, I think we need to cultivate the habit of actually involving a therapist into the picture. Both parents need therapy. The child needs therapy. There are changes that is going to go on in the life of everybody at that point in time, and they need a professional to come to come into the picture and probably explain to all parties professionally, of course.
Because Nigerians don't practice.
They don't. They don't. Therapy is like alien to them. They don't.
Yeah.
But that is supposed to be a part of life. I think in developed world, people now talk about having family therapy just the same way they have family lawyers.
Yeah.
So I think
they help you understand yourself better and the situation better.
That's basically the job of a therapist. So I think that one thing everyone has to have in mind is involve a therapist.
Yes, sir. I really agree. So I thank you so much for that. If you're navigating through divorce and supporting a child through it, I really hope and comment that there's some tips that you took down, noted down, and I really believe everybody learns every day. The child, that's the first time the child is being a child in this situation. That's the first time you're being parents in the situation. But I really hope that tips were taken down and this was of any help to people watching out there. So if there is any topic or section of this problem about children not receiving enough support after divorce, is there any part of it that we have missed that I have not brought up to you today that we can cover for people out there watching? Honestly.
I think most of it you've actually covered it. The important aspect of divorce has been covered, so I don't think there's any more to add.
Thank you so much for listening with Counselor Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you so much for your time and effort.
Thank you.
Until we see you again with the different hosts. Bye.